Hi Cancer, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. This is your reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, Cancer for the period of the rest of the year from June 24th when I'm filming until December 31st, 2021. There's your card. I'm excited to be here with you guys. I filmed Leo by mistake twice. So you guys are going now, and I'm sorry, I was supposed to film yours earlier. Anyway, so you guys get, members only preview on this, and then everybody else gets the full video in a month or so. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, and I wish you well for the rest of the year. Let's see your cards. I am filming at sunset, so I think we have enough time, more than enough time. We're an hour away from sunset, but it goes down really quick this time of year. So we have week and bringing closer and yes, positive and path. And then the next card is Potir. Okay, so the path is to do. This is Potir is to be active, to initiate, to act with action, taking action on a path. I think there's a couple different things over here that happened. You brought something in closer when you were weak. And this is something that is difficult for you to deal with. A person, a situation, you kind of brought someone around into your life a little bit when you were not at your best. You also helped someone who was down, and now they're like better. But you really went out of your way to help someone else. Nice for you, Cancer. This is how the past is influencing the present. So one, you brought in someone negative, I suppose, when you were weak. I think that's the point it's making. And the second one is that you helped someone, and it was it feels really those two things tied together, separate events, but they were synchronistic with each other. And it was a long pattern, like several years, maybe even a decade, in which these circumstances affected you. And so now that has reached a conclusion of some type, and you're getting a positive outcome out of it. And now you are moving forward in a new direction. Somebody asked me in the Cancer comments when Pluto was going to leave the 7th house. He's leaving the 7th house in 2023 and then will retrograde back in, and I think he's fully clear by 2024. Pluto has a long retrograde cycle. It's 5.5 months long, so nearly half the year. So I feel like this is tied to this because I feel as though relationships for you, Cancer, are reaching huge cycle endings. Your dynamics with other people, what those mean, and all these different things. These are things are actually coming to an end for you with certain cycles, and because these things are ending, you're now beginning very specific paths forward in new directions. Okay, let's take a look at your Lenormand cards for the rest of the year. I am so hot. It's part of the reason why I did Leo twice is because it's so hot today. The temperature spiked from maybe 20 degrees to 27 degrees in one day. And then I think by the end of this week, it's going to be 37 degrees, which is unheard of here, literally. It doesn't happen. So, and we're going to have a whole week of really hot weather. which is also rare in June. So I just wonder what July is going to be like. We have birds, okay? And then we have clover. Oh, and I just want to tell you the birds are, I should tell you the first card. So birds actually means that there are people around you, you're in society, you're around a lot of people in a more informal way. So like school, you know, you're all there together studying. And then we have the mountains. The mountains. And the letter at the center. Let's see the next message. We have the paths. And then we have the woman. And then we have the last card, the in my deck, there's some extra cards above 36 that I added. Cancer, I feel like you're around a lot of people, or have been. This influences the present moment. And those interactions have pushed you towards confronting some obstacles in your life. So you went on bigger life journeys because of the people that you were around. They pushed you to do more for yourself. This might be through competition, or this might be through encouragement. It could be positive or negative. But I think I'm leaning towards the negative influence, like they were like bullying you, or like you felt bullied, and that pushed you. But in and of itself, it does not feel like it was a good circumstance, but it actually led you to good places. It made you confront more difficult things and that kind of thing. And you're living with the consequences of those efforts here. I feel like you're going to write something very, very important, Cancer. You might write something from your heart. Writing's going to be a huge thing for you for the rest of the year. I believe not all of you will be creative writing. Some of you are going to be writing documents. I sense for most of you it's like documents, or writing things down, filing applications, those kinds of things, more so than creative writing. This feels very much like ambition that you have worked for or worked towards, and you're really applying yourself now. So yes, you have increased in your luck and success by virtue of the people you were around, but you don't feel safe around them, that's for sure. You feel like you feel like the stranger song, The Doors, people are strange when you're a stranger, faces look ugly when you're alone. I get this kind of vibe. It doesn't mean that you're around ugly people. It just means that the people who you are around, and that stranger isn't, the Doors are not saying like, oh, you're around bad people. It's, you feel different, or you feel on the periphery, and so you don't know them so well. You're looking at this circle of friends or connections as an outsider, right? So you're intimidated by it. That's what the song's about. And so yeah, you have this feeling of distance from people, and a real push to achieve something for yourself. There is this desire within you, Cancer, in order to meet them at their place, like meet them at the same vibration at which they're at, which means success, pushing yourself, those kinds of things. And in certain circumstances, these people dragged you into situations that you didn't really want to participate in. Whatever it was, like a trip that you didn't really want to go on, or whatever else. Moving forward, the paths, the woman and the you're going to be in a much more solitary, reflective, peaceful energy, an energy within yourself. You're going to go through in some direction. You're going to go through in some direction and find peace of heart, peace of mind in that direction. I see you as traveling a lot in nature and reflecting and embracing, like being alive by yourself, those kinds of things. You'll have a very spiritual end of the year, very much. I could see you actually in something like an ashram where people go and they just are quiet for a period of time and they sit with their meditation or whatever. Sometimes it's acts of giving, which means that they take care of the property in exchange for lodging and food. There's all sorts of things, but I feel I can almost see you at peace in nature. I can almost see you in a serene environment, really embracing life around you, minimal technology, minimal city. But this can also happen if you guys are limited by where you live or whatever. It could be in your home, like very organic experience. Very, very, like, I don't know if you guys do yoga or something like that. Okay. So the next energy is the fox. Someone introduced you to a group of friends. So you were introduced to a group of friends and that took you a certain direction. It took you away from the things you were going to do. And then we have the stork. But I think that the fact that you've taken time to pursue this writing, this documentation, I think that's only helped your situation. It kind of gave it more energy. It gave you more full body to it. Like the thought is more comprehensive. I think you're moving forward with something, buying something or, paperwork. And so maybe if you had filed those papers earlier, it would have been without full understanding of your situation. And now you have spent time thinking about it and your thoughts are like you're much more holistically thinking about it. In the center of the reading, you have the sun. It's a very happy place. I feel as though your connections in the recent past were very, very, anxious. Anxious interactions, like when people don't really want to talk to someone, but they feel like they have to, or they feel pressure to. That's what I feel like you've been dealing with a lot. And with the present moment, this is your center card, is actually saying is that you are disbanding all that energy. The anxiety around having to appease a group of people is gone. It's almost like you have excused yourself politely. So you wanted to leave without them noticing. You wanted to leave without conflict. And so, you found yourself, you didn't like it. It helped you to get somewhere. Something was delayed. And that's good because it actually gave you food for thought. You thought about it more. And here you are. So then we have the ship. Many of you are going to travel from now until the end of the year. We have the heart. I like this card in this position. And then we have the scythe. I think that you're actively changing your environment. Some of you might be traveling somewhere far, or you're taking up a personal change in direction, and it's based from what you do every day. So maybe you'll just pick up and go in some direction. Maybe you'll expand your horizons, or I just feel as though you're taking a detour from what you were doing. I think you're very much done. For a long time, maybe you kept some people in your life because of sympathy and compassion. You were first interested in these people you were interacting with. You were friends with them. Maybe this was a relationship. Maybe it was something else. And after time, there was an emotional bond, but the actual desire evaporated. And it evaporated because the frequency of the people was not exactly in alignment with an authentic energy. And so when you realized that, you tried to remove yourself politely, but it took some time and it really wasted a lot of time, but that's okay. You got through it. And here I feel like all you want to do is now live in the way that you want. You want to go, I sense many of you might just pick up and travel somewhere by yourselves and do something that you've always wanted, like hike something, or it's all in nature, but you can amend that to your own preferences. But just challenging yourself to be a different person and challenging yourself to try out a different aspect of your personality. Now we have the not. I think that your responsibility towards other people is a detriment to you in the fall. So that doesn't mean that you can't love people, but I do feel like your commitment to them and to be around them is not actually to your benefit, and out of duty, being there for someone, holding on to something out of duty, it's just not a very good vibe. We have the rider here, and then we have the dog. Information came to you through a friend. So someone said something to a friend or around a friend, or your friend found out and told you the information. It really feels as though a secret has been unveiled to you, and it changed your perspective on things, and it definitely feels like it freed you up from situations. Then we have the garden, and then we have the moon, and then we have the cross, and then we have peace, which is a bonus card. Okay. And then on the bottom we have the man. A change, because it all happened because of a relationship with someone. And this could mean that this ends in a relationship, although the cards themselves, maybe in 2022, early 2022, if you're single, it could be a change in love. Let's take a look at the last row. So as I began, I was just compelled to tell you, because right away I saw it, this responsibility towards other people is a detriment to you. Not the fact that you have a relationship is a detriment, but your obligation and responsibility. Don't do things for the purpose of those things at this time. Well, in moderation, right? Your focus is to go in a different direction and find your happiness and find your sun, whatever is beaming. And I feel like information comes to you through messages by people. So people through this fall will tell you things. They'll open your eyes. So allow people to speak. So if somebody really wants to tell you something, even if you don't want to hear it, maybe you know what's coming or you're not so jazzed about it, you open yourself up. Okay? And then we have a great friendship is evolving for you. This could be a person who's waiting for you while you go somewhere else. So you might be in communication with them via email or telephones, but someone's back at home waiting for you. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of plenitude coming into your life in the fall. What I mean by that is that there's a lot of variety, a lot of different things, and you're sort of non-attached to all of them, and you're observing them as potential realities or potential things to do, but you're not bonded and grounded and rooted with any of them. Okay? And it's kind of like a lovely place. You're in the garden and you're enjoying yourself and you're trying these different things to see what works and what's great. Okay, so the upcoming energy, the moon isn't like the moon in tarot here. I have a feeling that you're going to forgive a situation that you didn't think that you would forgive. I think that you're going to find peace with the situation. I think you'll realize about your own beauty in a situation, or about how it didn't actually take as much as you thought it would. So there's a much more peaceful conclusion. I think you were carrying the burden of, I sense from you, time being taken, or just complicate, like you want to live a simple life in the fall. You really want just a simple life, nature. You don't want a lot of like extra things around you. And so I feel like there's you're coming into peace, and you're relinquishing these heavy obligations. So let's go card by card. I kind of did the rows. And so the main thing is birds. Now that I see this, you're just tired of the noise. Maybe you work on social media and you're tired of the noise and the chatter, and so you're just really wanting to connect with nature and peace, okay? I have a feeling that you've gotten a lot of positive messages about where you need to go, and you're getting a lot of tips on where to go and how to get there, and so forth and so on. Your relationship with women will not be easy in the fall. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of things between you and others, females. And so there's going to be obstacles, difficulties, not necessarily only emotional ones, but just like complications. Like, when the panorama happened and they locked down countries, there were many people caught on either side of the border and they couldn't connect. That kind of stuff. Okay. And then we have communications from men are going to be very important over the next 6 months. And then I think you're also as you're trying to find yourself, you're also trying to figure out where you belong with others. So who are your people now that you're sort of done with a certain situation in the past? And then we have the woman, a sister, a mother, a wife, a girlfriend is very important for you in the upcoming months. I think some of you, especially who are forming families with women, there's going to be a very private time of maybe even getting pregnant, or forming a family and just living by higher principles. So maybe you guys have some kind of higher principles to live by at this time, or you're being drawn towards this person. This person's becoming an important role in your life. If you're interacting with women, sister energy, they are going to provide for you a lot of serenity in what they say. There's going to be a lot of heartfelt connections. There's a real bond forming there between two people. Then we have the fox here, somebody who has a very sharp disposition. Fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, maybe Aries. They're helping you get a little bit of grit in situations where you're a little bit more sassy towards others, not necessarily so easy. And then we have the book, the next energy. Again, a lot of time by yourself, filling out documents. You could be applying for universities, congratulations, or doing something. It feels paperwork, maybe family trees if you don't want to do anything else, like looking up your family tree and researching. There's more and more information in that. It's kind of interesting. Then we have the stork. I think that a new direction is emerging for you. I think this was just a carry over energy. It wasn't a huge, everything has a huge effect on our life, right? And every situation matters. And this definitely changed you for the better. But I don't think that it's one of those quintessential moments in your life. It's just a time and a period of people and situations that you were a part of. But there's a bigger part, and so this is a part of a bigger pattern in your life. And you have finished something a little while back. Then there's been this purgatory suspended animation sort of phase where you were on pause, and so a minor quest happened, a minor side quest, a small like interjection, another thing happened, but it's not a part of the big story of your life. But the part of the big story is actually shifting, and I think this has to do a lot with it. Writing something down, going in a new direction, that kind of thing. And so it's very lucky for you to finally take that turn in a new direction. And in the center, we have the sun, so you're very happy about that. I think you've been probably wondering if that was it. It feels like an extended phase of time in which you were kind of, it wasn't the main point. So you're feeling much better now that you see direction. And I think you're going to be very mindful about what you want. So very careful about like what you actually want. And then we have the ship over here. Okay, hold on. So I think there was a pre-planned trip that you're still going to go on, and it's going to lead to good things. I think it might be one of the last times you can see someone. I'm not saying they're going to pass, but for whatever reason, you're going to have an opportunity to see someone before you may not see them again for a long time. So they're going to go somewhere. I have a feeling that you're also letting go. Remember on the bottom of the deck was the man. I feel like for many of you, you're releasing an old partner that you've been with for a very long time. And this relationship, especially for some of you, had ended a while ago. There could be a final stage in saying goodbye to that situation. And I feel like you've really taken your time to let go because you've been authentic through your whole separation process. So you didn't try to pretend like everything was okay and move past it. You really lived through every single stage of the separation so that you could really come out of it with very little damage, with very little like emotional baggage and brokenness. Like you've addressed everything as it came up. And like I said, the desire to form these deep bonds in the fall is much less important than forming deep bonds with yourself. I think you have a deep bond with a female who's giving you wonderful advice and wonderful insights about your headspace. And so you should be excited about that information coming to you of an unexpected nature. A friend's very important for you, and a friend's almost important for you, very important for you, very integral to your well-being and progress. And I think that you'll be really switching from one situation to many dispersed energies, many, and I think that you're weary that it's going to wash your experience out, that it really feels as though you're experiencing some degree of anxiety by being with one person for a while and that disintegrating before this even happened, and now being around a lot of people. Like I think that you're wary of this. You're worried that it's not going to be profound, but I think you're going to have an extremely powerful connection that's going to lead to a lot of inner peace and a lot of positive impression. Like somebody's going to put a very positive impression on you. Okay, so then we have we have Taurus. That's important for you for the rest of the year. Sun, Moon, and Rising. That's a very good match. And then we have Aries. Interesting. Aries and Taurus. You want to be aware of these energies. And Moon in the 11th house. It's all about friends for you, Cancer. Although I don't think you'll be spending a lot of time with them. I think you're dealing with the consequences of different friendships and where they've taken you. Where they've taken you and how you find yourself where you are. But I think the outcome is an elevated state of peace and happiness, fulfillment. I think a big thing for you is being solitary in some very special place, a good place that's going to be nurturing to you. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the year. And I hope this was lots of information that will help you along. Take care. Bye.